Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Boss Rush Podcast, episode 100. I am your host, Corey Deerick, and alongside me is an OG crew tonight. That retro code Eddie V.
Series X, everybody.
The wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
And the PC Muscle Race, Exodus 803 himself, LeRon, No Sleeve Dawkins.
Hey everyone, what's poppin'?
Well, guys, we did it. Episode 100. We can put a bow on it. We can say goodbye to the world.
All right. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So this is going to be a little bit of a different episode. There's not going to be any housekeeping. There's not going to be any fluff, no whatever else we do on the show. The point of this show is for us to be real kind of candid with the audience, real kind of... It's going to be almost like a behind-the-scenes look at the show, right? Because we've been talking internally about what do we do with this show? Does this show even need to exist, right? With everything else we do, right? Like Pow Block, Arsenal X, Crossroads, 1v1s, the entertainment side of stuff, right? Like, we're going to get into that. But basically, like, for newer listeners and people who have found us later, like, Jesse, Ed, and I started the show because we didn't have time to do Nintendo Power Block and Arsenal X and the other things we were doing at the time. So we kind of combined them into one podcast, right? And now that those shows have been going on for so long again, like we brought them back, they've actually grown in popularity, like. We've had the internal discussion, does this show need to exist? And if it does, what do we do with the show? So that's kind of going to be our main topic of the show tonight. But first off, right, if you're listening, if this is your first episode, welcome. Hi. Hey.
Hello.
Hi there.
We are part of the Boss Rush network of podcasts. You can check us out on bossrushgames.com, all that good stuff. We're gonna start out with what we've been playing, so which it's kind of been the same few games for me for the last couple weeks. But LeRon, we're gonna talk to you first. What are you playing?
Oh, come on, guys. You know, first name Monster, last name Hunter. Come on, Monster Hunter Stories 2 demo.
Look, I thought you were gonna say prefix stories. Yeah. Basically, that's where a lot of my time has gone this past week. The Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin demo. I've just been really just chewing away at it because I got jealous of seeing people with a Puke in their freaking Mossy collection and stuff. So I've been running through like
Puke.
Okay, for anyone that does not play, because Puke is a brand new monster that was introduced in Monster Hunter World. Puke is basically a little green. He looks like a little moss-looking monster. He's got butterfly wings and whatnot, and he does poison attacks. And he has the most obnoxiously screeching like roar. Yeah, but the fact that you know, like, that it's available in the demo, I've been looking for one, and I think I finally figured out like where it's at and everything. And I also had to brush off some of my old knowledge from the first Monster Hunter Stories, because there's a technique for how you actually get to not capture, but you get to find an egg for a specific monster that you just fight and stuff like that. You know what? Fine, I'll give you guys a tip. You start fighting the monster. If you have an item in your possession called a paintball, you want to paintball it kind of late in the fight. Throw the paintball at it. What it does is for the next 3 rounds, if you actually get a chance to defeat it, what it will do is it will retreat after you defeated it, and you'll be able to find its den. When you follow it to its den, you'll be able to find an egg for it. And
does it still do the yin yang battle system, like kind of almost like Fire Emblem, the older ones?
It does. It does the rock. It's like a rock paper scissors.
It does rock paper scissors. Yeah. So it's basically you've got the technique wheel. You got power, you got speed, and you've got technique. Power beats technique.
technique beats speed, and speed beats power. So basically, just think of it: red, blue, green. So green beats red. Red beats. I'm sorry. Yeah, no.
Because power is blue, right?
Power is red.
Power's red.
Power is red.
Blue.
Speed is blue, and technique is green.
I'm thinking from the original stories.
No. It's always been like that.
But with the original stories, I was trying to figure out. I'm like, wasn't blue at the top, green at the bottom right, and then red at the bottom left?
No. It always starts. You always start off in power.
So, but power's a different color.
Power's red.
Power's red.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just remember that. That's your free technique. If you run across any monster, and we've seen a bunch of monsters getting unveiled. Like, I cannot wait seeing the roadmap. We get to see like two of my favorite wyverns that I can finally be able to capture and use it, play as and actually have it as mounts. Freaking Silver Rathlos and Gold Rathian. Like, I am so excited, and the fact that okay, if anyone's looked at the Wikipedia for Monster Hunter stories, like there's a universal lie that's been told to you guys. Like, the Elder Dragons that we're going to be able to ride in this game were not available in the US version of Monster Hunter Stories 1. They were available to Japanese players because in Japan the game actually sold very well. So they got the DLC, and they actually got not only did they get DLC, they also got like an expansion to Monster Hunter Stories 1. We never got that.
And this was this after the 3DS one?
Yeah, this is the 3DS one, because the iOS and the Android version does not have this either.
So was it Generations? No. It was the one when Fire Emblem Awakening, I think, came out, when it was like just hit its big stride, I think.
Don't get me in line on that, because I didn't really keep track of a lot of the games in that in between time. But yeah, so the Wikipedia lied to you guys. Like, this is the first time that we will actually be able to have Kushala Dara, Teostra, and Orochikiran. And there should be another one that's escaping me right now. But the Elder Dragons were not a thing. The only Elder Dragon you could actually have as a monster in the first game was Red Fatalis. Yeah, that was the only one.
Well, yeah, I remember hearing something about that, about the dragons being something you could ride now, and people being excited.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm definitely one of those people, because I just want my steel wind dragon. That's all I want.
And Stories is the first side game, I think.
Yeah. Well, Stories is the first side game that wasn't on a mobile platform. Well, when I say mobile, I mean like phones.
Yeah.
Like they had side games that are on the mobile platform. As a matter of fact, if anyone plays the Teppen game, there's a card. I can't remember the name of it, but it's actually an Elder Dragon from one of the actual phone games, and it's only available in that game. So the only other time you've ever been able to see it is in Teppen, and it's actually a card you can use to attack.
Friday's gonna be so fun. I didn't play the demo. Like I said, I'm
Ed refuses to play the demo. Even though he's buying the game.
I don't know why.
We're not going there. We had a whole 20-minute conversation on this the other day. Nope.
Yeah.
Well, nope. I'm not trying to invite the conversation. I'm just saying, like, you could have had. I'm gonna say a head start, but in all honesty, you could have been set up. You could have had like armor and stuff. This could have been stuff you didn't have to grind for.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I've also.
That's the one thing I will say that Stories 2 is getting. Stories is getting spot on from the freaking main series of Monster Hunter. You have to grind.
Yeah, it's definitely been a grind. I've been playing it too. It's my probably maybe it's up there with Outriders as like my favorite game I've played this year. It's awesome. I'm loving it.
I'm happy, but at the same time, I'm like, man, there was another game that came out in March with Monster Hunter in the name too, and
yeah, nobody likes that one. Everybody wants the Wii version of the game. Everybody wants to play as cute little anime girls running around with their giant Pokemon monsters.
That's what kind of it's amazing because like this is a game built for Monster Hunter Rise is a game built for the Nintendo Switch for Nintendo, and like I mean like I'm surrounded by Nintendo fanboys, and y'all did not jump on this. I don't get it.
Monster Hunter is a weird one. It's just,
okay. Yeah, I take it back. You did because you and I were grinding that demo hard.
Here's the thing: just because there's Nintendo fans and then there's Monster Hunter fans, and it feels like this one came out on, like I know the series has been on Nintendo for a while, but like I know people who bought 3DS just to play Monster Hunter, right? It wasn't the game that Nintendo fans bought a 3DS for. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, there's a Monster Hunter on Switch, but that doesn't mean it's a Nintendo game. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Oh, is that where we're going with this?
Yeah, that's where I'm going with that.
It's not a Nintendo game? Okay.
Hey, it did 3 million plus. So
well, guess what?
I didn't say it wasn't popular. I'm saying the Monster Hunter fans are happy that there's a portable one that they can take with them, and you know.
Well, guess what? Monster Hunter Stories 2 is not a Nintendo game either because it's coming out on PC on the 9th also.
That's fine. It's the version of Monster Hunter that I'm enjoying, so that's all.
Are you doing PC, LeRon?
I will get the PC version if I know for sure that there's cross save.
Oh, okay.
So you can play it on the go.
Which they've been vague about. They haven't said anything about cross save. And you know what? Knowing kind of how Nintendo, this is kind of in Capcom's hands. But knowing how Nintendo is about like just their online stuff, you know, I have some doubts. But we'll see if it's cross save. Then you know, like, yep, I'm gonna buy a second copy of the game.
Nintendo's been good with cross saves because like with some of the indie games that came from PC, they said in their indie direct you can also do cross play and cross save.
I mean, that's not a Nintendo thing. That's the developer thing. It's Nintendo allowing them to have cross save, right? Like because The Witcher is cross save between the GOG version and the Switch version. So.
Oh, okay.
Which is probably like the game that people would like to have it on the most. But yeah, I mean, I think Monster Hunter is going to be. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Capcom would be stupid not to do that. You know,
you say that, but Capcom's the same company that staggered their release of the PC version of World,
and they were stupid for doing that. And I think the community let them know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a damn shame, which is why I'm hoping Monster Hunter 6 when that comes out, like it has a 1-to-1 release with consoles and PC because that would be. I'm not gonna say it's gonna hurt their sales because like it did not hurt their sales at all. Like basically, but it did hurt feelings of a lot of players because I sank like 700 hours into Monster Hunter on PS4 before the PC version came out, and then I had to start over.
Well, is like as an outsider who doesn't really follow it too much, I do feel like there is a lot more buzz though for this game than there was for World, just because I think World introduced like Monster Hunter to a lot of new people. Like it was like an entry level, like something that. That piqued interest and people like even like I even tried it and played it. Like it wasn't for me, but it like I was glad that I gave it a shot and tried it, and
it was the game that hit the mainstream, right?
Yeah.
It is.
So
yeah, it is.
So
it is.
So if for them, like I think that they'd be very wise to release the PC and Switch version of this game at the same time because there's a lot of eyes on it right now.
Well, me and LeRon was talking about this, that Capcom's been doing a lot of marketing for their games and definitely for Monster Hunter. Like Monster Hunter didn't get that many. correct me if I'm wrong, LeRon. I know that they did some marketing for World, but the biggest thing I seen from World was like from E3, and I didn't see that much until the game came out.
Yeah.
But Rise, I mean, like even with Rise, it started a Nintendo Direct, and then Capcom started having all their other directs along with it, and then started putting stories too along with. Like every time you see them marketing this game, they're always being like, "This is the stuff that you get when you pre-order."
I have my theory about like the jump on point where that Monster Hunter World was, because Monster Hunter World was debuted at E3 during the Sony press conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my theories behind it because I feel like they were going to take another chance with Monster Hunter when they did that. And it was like the same chance they took when Monster Hunter first came out in 2004, because they were completely revamping the system and everything. They wanted to bring it more into the modern age, because there was a big disconnect, with people that were playing the most recent version of the game on the Wii U, which was Monster Hunter
Ultimate.
Tri Ultimate, yeah. Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate, which was actually, in my opinion, a better game than what Tri was, thank God. But Monster Hunter 4 and 4 Ultimate were back to being on 3DS because, people.
Because the Wii U didn't sell well.
Well, that was one thing. Well, the 3DS version of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate sold better than the Wii U version did. Huh?
Oh, I was supposed to say, yeah. Well, that one was kind of like a little bit on Capcom's part too, because they didn't really market
it was on
that
Nintendo
game.
for not selling enough units of the Wii U.
Yeah, well, in the 3D, yeah, and like their handhelds are always like
especially in Japan where that game was popular.
Capcom tried because the 3DS and the Wii U version could talk to each other and stuff like that. You didn't have to have 4 people on the Wii U playing. Like you could have had one person on the Wii U or 2 people. You could have had any combination where like a console can be playing with portables online,
which was cool.
I think it was more of the release, because when I found out that it came to Wii U, like it was only a digital only version.
It wasn't. There was a box copy.
No, there was a disc version, because a buddy of mine brought it over to the house.
Yeah,
my house, and I saw the physical disc and everything.
Yeah,
because he was begging me to fight a Pink Rathian for him.
They must have then made a low quantity, because I've never seen the physical of Tri on Wii U.
You mean low quantity?
Yeah, like quantity. I've never seen the physical. All I seen that game was on digital. Like no store carried the physical.
Well, that means they're probably worth a lot of money.
The thing though too is like at that time Monster Hunter was big in Japan, and right, like we talked about before the show, Japan has been moving more towards portable gaming and mobile gaming and stuff like that, to where like it made sense to put it on those platforms, especially because like the PSP was dying. The Vita was the Vita.
It still boggles my brain why they didn't release a Monster Hunter game on the Vita.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would have helped the Vita out immensely, especially in Japan. But
yeah, I don't know. Japan's a weird place, because we were speaking about like how the Xbox has just been unsuccessful over there, and they had a dedicated Monster Hunter game that was Japan only. It was called Monster Hunter Frontier. Like us people in the United States, we were always like, we want to play this game and stuff. I even spoofed my IP address to make it seem like I was playing in Japan, and I was able to play that game for like maybe like a good 3 weeks before I got caught.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean,
wow.
But at the time, like Monster Hunter Frontier was like the pinnacle of what Monster Hunter was for that particular time. Like, I mean, it was a game that was always getting updated. Like, Monster Hunter World hit end of life, late last year. Monster Hunter World hit end of life. Monster Hunter Frontier went on for over 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's like another what's it called? The Phantasy Star Online kind of situation.
Well,
where
Phantasy Star Online kind of came back.
Yeah.
Like Monster Hunter Frontier, they finally was like, hey, we're closing down the servers. Like, it's been a fun ride, but you guys had like almost more than a decade of it.
Yeah.
Phantasy Star Online is just a weird thing altogether.
Yeah, that whole situation with Phantasy Star Online, especially with like this is still the second game, but it's new Genesis. It's like a new expansion / new. I don't understand what's happening with this.
I think it's kind of cool though, like because like too many times, I mean the norm is to come out with a new game and completely get rid of the old one, but it's kind of cool that they're doing it differently and like almost bringing the old one back but adding new stuff to it, like I mean even it looks like hear about like
it looks like a brand new it looks like a brand new game every time I see it. It looks like a brand new game.
Yeah. It's just a shame. I don't know. Like Sega did bad marketing on that. Like, I mean, because like it had a life of its own in Europe for a while, and then suddenly Japan caught on to it, and eventually it wound up getting some notoriety over here in the U.S. and it wound up becoming like an exclusive on the Windows Store. And so I mean, it's got a weird track record. But yeah, like I mean, Monster Hunter, that's my thing, and I'm trying to. I wrestled with myself today because I was like, you know what? When this game comes out, what am I going to do with Rise?
Still play it.
I really feel like Capcom didn't give us enough time.
Yeah, why did they release them so close to each other?
It's so close. It's almost like I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? There's still, because of the Capcom data leak and all this stuff. Like, we know that Monster Hunter Rise is supposed to be coming to the PC. Why do I have a strange feeling that like this whole Monster Hunter Stories thing? They got it out as early as possible because like it had been spoiled. Because I feel like the path would have been like the PC version would have came out for Rise, and then Stories would have came out. That's the way I feel.
I think it's probably like a different team because I think it's a different team doing Stories. Correct.
Well, it's a completely different team. Like, because there's 3 different teams that do the Monster Hunter series, and then there's a whole brand new team for Stories.
Yeah, so I think they're probably doing it just like they see it as like a RPG and. So and not the traditional Monster Hunter games.
It still screws because like the Dyed in the Wool Monster Hunter players, played Stories like like we, because when you got here's what I think is going to be phenomenal for you guys when you guys start playing this game. If you've never played the first one, you're gonna get basically a crash course into the lore of Monster Hunter. Like you're gonna learn everything about like this because like. You look at Monster Hunter, the main series, and you're thinking it's just a bunch of people like picking up like heavy ass like swords, big ass guns, lances, and all that stuff, and going out there and slaying monsters. But what you find out from the overall lore of the story, and this is the lore that we already knew as old school traditional Monster Hunter players, is there's a symbiosis like for man, for monsters, and there's a third class of people called Wyverians. Those are the people that look like humans, but they got the pointy ears. Like the 2 girls that are singing it in the Monster Hunter story and the Monster Hunter Rise intros. Those 2 girls, they're Wyverians. There's a synergy between man and beast in the game, and basically it keeps a balance. And you learn a lot about that stuff from just playing. But you had to play all those games over the years for the main series. But when Monster Hunter Stories came out, the first one, like it basically streamline the entire story of Monster Hunter, and then you got introduced to another segment of people who they take the symbiosis with monsters one step further because they actually mountain ride their monsters.
Yeah, I still got my physical Monster Hunter Stories for 3DS.
Yeah, I still have it, and I bought it again for the tablet when it came out.
I'm sure that game is kind of worth some money if you want to play it now. So. Sell it, Ed. Sell it.
No, I'm not selling it. No,
I'm not selling my copy.
No. Ed's house is made out of classic game Blu-ray and DVD cases at this point. Is that all you've been playing, LeRon?
That is the only thing I've been playing this past week.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's a damn shame because there's so many games they're pissed off at a demo right now. Like Mass Effect Legendary Edition is pissed off at this demo. Monster Hunter Rise is definitely pissed off at this demo.
Mario Golf is pissed off at this demo for me.
Shoot, I haven't even taken golf out of the plastic yet. It's still wrapped up.
Ring Fit Adventure is pissed off at this game right now. There are a lot of games that are pissed at this stories demo, and it's only going to get worse when the full game comes out.
It's so fun though. Like it's
I'm enjoying seeing you guys talking about it. I love it, but at the same time, it brings a tear to my eye because it's like, why couldn't they play a Rise with me?
I'm glad. LeRon's like, I'm glad people are playing Monster Hunter, but they're playing the wrong Monster Hunter. They're playing the wrong one.
Over a full game.
And we're over here. We're over here. You said the Switch one, but it's the wrong one.
It's like that meme. Hey, play this Monster Hunter game. No, not that one.
Yeah.
Like the people that when they got the what was it? Was it the Gears of War, or was it some game where you got the demo? You got a demo of, I think it was maybe Halo in it or something like that. And everyone would play the demo because that's what they wanted.
Oh,
more.
Are you talking about Halo with Fusion Frenzy? Because
yeah, maybe or something. It was one of those, or was it Crackdown? Crackdown had one of the first Crackdowns I thought had like a Halo demo.
It had the Halo beta. Everybody bought Crackdown for the Halo 3 beta.
Yeah,
because that's the only way you could get it. Yeah. And then everybody ended up playing. Oh, Crackdown is actually an okay game.
That's the same thing that happened with Final Fantasy 12 on PS2. People bought it so they could play Dragon Quest 8.
Yeah. or shoot. Remember,
well, that's the only reason why people bought Zone of the Enders, right? Is because it came with the Metal Gear demo.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Oh, I guess Zone of the Enders is an okay."
I used to hate going to like Walgreens or the grocery store. You be trying to look for the PC or the PS magazines because they had the demo disc, and always the demo disc was gone. Then the magazine was left there. I'm like, come on now.
God, I remember. What was it? There was a Square Enix game that came out, and it had a demo disc in it for this game called Tobal Number 1. And everyone played that demo more than they played that Square RPG.
Yeah. I remember Tobal.
Wow.
The good old days of games,
right?
Demos.
Jesse, what are you playing?
I, unlike all of you call yourself Nintendo lovers, I've been playing Mario Golf and actually really enjoying it a lot.
Is it fun? Is it fun? Because I looked at the stuff from the Nintendo Direct for it, and I'm like, I'm sitting this one out.
It's to me, it's like, it's fine. Like, sorry, Jesse, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
you go ahead. This is your turn.
Well, the thing with it is like the whole game mode that they sold. Like mostly they talked about in the direct and stuff, like that mode. I'll be honest, I haven't played it yet because in my opinion that's more of like a like playing with friends type of kind of mode, like where you're just having fun and gives you a chance to kind of be goofy in between, taking shots and stuff, and just a lot of opportunity for fun interaction with friends. But like just turning it on to just the straight up regular golf, that's what I've been doing, and that's still a lot of fun just playing single player by yourself. Like, just if you just want to relax and just play some regular style golf, but with the fun characters and stuff, that part of it I think is really good. And I feel like the controls and everything work a little better than the last Mario Golf that I remember playing. Like, I feel like it's easier to like line up shots and things like that. I don't know, maybe it could just be me, but that part of it seems to work better in my opinion than previous Mario Golf.
Because I think the last one was on 3DS.
Yeah, the last console one was GameCube, so
yeah.
Wow.
And that would have been the last console when I played.
I really enjoyed the what was it, the Game Boy Advance one? I enjoyed that. One.
It was like a full-on RPG, which they kind of try to do in this one in the adventure mode or whatever, but it's still really light.
Yeah, like what's kind of cool is so like there's one of the power-ups, I think it's Luigi's, I think it's his power-up thing that he does. Like you can actually use his power-up to your advantage, which is kind of fun. So like what he does is like when his ball lands, it will freeze the ground around it. So if your ball lands in that area, like, or it rolls in that area or whatever, after it's been frozen, your ball will continue to move. So it's very possible that it will slide off into the rough or into the the sand pit or whatever. But what's really cool though is if your ball hits that area, it goes flying super high up into the air and bounces, and so you can actually get another 10-15 yards on your shot just from bouncing off the ice if it hits it right. And so there's just kind of I like the whole power up stuff. Obviously when you're playing regular golf, it's not as effective just because and what I did, you can choose to go take your turn hitting, or otherwise you can just still have it where you're playing against one another but you all go at the same time. And so that's what I did. The only difference in the regular one is obviously you don't have to run to your shot. It just then picks up at your next shot, and then you line everything up. But I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it kind of has the best of both worlds. Like I said, if you just want to play something by yourself to just kind of sit and relax and just something fun to do for a little while, I think it's it works well doing the regular golf settings. And then if you want to play with friends, I definitely think the best way to do that though is to play the game mode that they have, the new game mode, just because I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of the regular golf mode.
Okay.
Yeah, I play it while my kids are asleep or I'm laying in bed or whatever, and it's just okay, well, I think the nice thing too is when you play the regular golf mode is you can pick how many holes you want to play, right? Yep. It's 3, 6, 9. I guess 3, 6, 9, 18. I think is the limit or whatever.
Yeah, and you can pick if you want to play the back 9 or the front 9.
Yeah, there's also a random mode too, where it randomly picks what holes you play. So that's cool too.
Yeah,
I think it's cool too that you can the fastest way to unlock the other courses is to play the adventure mode, but they also let you unlock it just by playing the normal golf mode, which is nice too. So
yeah, that's what I've been working on essentially, is unlocking. I've played the first 2 courses so far, and the first regular course, not the beginner's one that's just kind of for practice.
Yeah.
But that first one, I finished 18 holes with 6 under par.
Yeah.
And then the second one I finished 5 under par, which, literally that was my first playthrough. So it just seems I don't know, maybe I'm just, for whatever reason, it just caught on really fast for me to play it. But I'm not able to get under par that, after finish a game under par that quick. So I don't know.
Yeah. Is that all you've been playing, Jesse?
The other thing is, I've been constantly here lately playing, just Halo 5 multiplayer and just enjoying that. But I played some more Scarlet Nexus, and like right now my major games is like Scarlet Nexus and Yakuza Like a Dragon. I've been jumping back and forth and kind of chipping away at both of them, and I love both of them for like, you know, like different reasons. Like Scarlet Nexus is just really fun, you know, the combat and like all the, you know, game mechanics of Scarlet Nexus are just amazing, and I love like every bit of it. And then Yakuza is like, you don't, you know, there's a lot of like cutscenes and stuff, which I don't mind. I know, Ed, you said that a lot of people were kind of upset that there was a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah.
But I actually like it. It's like watching a show that I get to interact with every once in a while, because I just really like the characters, and I like honestly, if this game was just made into an entire series, I would watch it. I would just sit down and I would probably end up binging it, because I just love the characters in that game, and I'm just having a lot of fun, you know, like with both of them, like I said, for different reasons. But, you know, Yakuza's got that comedy / like just jokey fun, you know, feel to it, and then Scarlet Nexus is kind of on the opposite side, where it's like the more somewhat serious / like, you know, you've got your romance and, you know, like things where you get to spend time with each character and build up your bond between them and things like that. But yeah, like I'm loving both of those games, and like I definitely think that if you're anything, you know, even a little bit interested in Scarlet Nexus, to definitely check it out, because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was the one game me and you agreed on that we was buying for Series X.
Yeah, which was unusual for me, because normally I see something like that and I just be like, okay, it's not for me. But for whatever reason, that game just right off the bat, and I think it solidified it when Microsoft had that extended showcase thing, and they sat down with the developers and like let the developers just kind of pour out their hearts about, you know, how they feel about making this game, and like really going in depth. Like that really solidified my wanting to get this game and being interested in it, because like you could just see the passion, and just, you know, like you can tell that they really, really worked their asses off to make that game like what it is, and it definitely shows in the end. Like that game is amazing.
Now, I heard that this doesn't have any next gen enhancements.
I don't know. I mean, it's very possible, but like honestly, the art style though, like I can't really tell. Like it looks so phenomenal. Like it looks amazing.
I don't think they said anything for it. Because
I want to say it says SX next to like the
maybe
the series.
Maybe it does. I don't know. I was just listening to a podcast earlier today, and somebody said they're playing it on the PS5, and there was no enhancements or anything. But
when they first showed it was only for Series X, and then I guess
maybe it's maybe it's a Yakuza Like a Dragon situation where they have like timed exclusive for next gen versions.
That could be.
I mean, I don't know officially, but
I mean,
there wasn't a lot of talk about this game, because, like you said, Jesse, showing them do the expansion show. That was the second time them even talking about Scarlet Nexus since last July or last June when they first showed it. So there wasn't a lot of talk about this game. So
I mean, they showed it at the first at the actual showcase for E3 as well.
Yeah, they showed a little bit.
Yeah. They showed it at the showcase, but then at the extended thing, they did a deeper dive.
Yeah, I'm just talking about from the reveal of it when they announced it last June. Up until
because I think they had a deal with Microsoft. Was kind of promoting it and stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm seeing more and more people play it and talk about it. So I'm glad that people are picking it up, because it's definitely something not to sleep on.
Yeah.
It's a really good game.
Well, maybe I'll check it out at some point. There's been a lot of surprises this year, so.
Definitely, I mean, because you guys like Bayonetta and like DMC type kind of games and stuff in it.
Oh, is it that type of game?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was more like a Soulsy game, because the last game they made was Code Vein, which was more of an anime Dark Soulsy type.
Yeah, that one is more Souls. This one is
this is like, you have bigger bosses and stuff like that, and there's like, like certain bosses will have a weak point. Like where they have a point where there's some kind of armor that you have to knock off, and then once you knock that off, then you can do more damage to them, and then they've got like just like cool things like that where there's like weak points, and like there are some aspects of it, but like the main base of the game and the mechanics of the fighting is like a DMC game or a Bayonetta game.
Oh.
Like that is essentially what kind of game it is. But then from there, it's got a lot more. It expands out to like having the different powers of the different people in your team that you can call in through these link cables that plug into your back. And like it's all neural network type kind of stuff. Like the whole idea of it is like linking your brain with your teammates and being able to like communicate through telekinesis or whatever you call it, and and things like that. Like it's just a very, very sci-fi version of like a DMC or a Bayonetta kind of thing. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun.
I remember when they revealed it, like it had my attention, but I guess I just never followed up on it and stuff like that. Like it had my attention though when I first saw like stuff for it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. So I honestly, it's right now it's probably in my game of the year conversation. Like it's but otherwise that's all I've really been playing. So
Ed, what about you? What are you playing?
So for PS4 I'm playing God of War. Kind of went back to that. Playing it on easy, so I could probably like get the last trophy on it since I already beat it. The game still looks good, but man, it's just like something about it feels old. About it, so about that game. For Switch, I'm playing Crosscode, getting
wonderful game.
Yes, it is. It's really good. Getting through that. Played a little bit of Joe and Mac, the Super Nintendo game. Trying to go back to beat it. Still working on Metroid, the NES version. I'm halfway through that game.
Wait, huh? You haven't beat that game?
I never beat Metroid. I never beat.
No. I'm just saying, like, you haven't beat that game since you said you started playing it.
Yeah,
like you can legit beat Metroid in like under 5 hours.
I play it for a while and then I start jumping around and everything. I gotta sit down and focus on it.
You played and beat.
Just be glad he finished Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, took him 4 years to do that.
Ed, you played and beat Zero Mission. You've already got the story.
Yeah, but I wanted to actually beat the original Metroid, because out of the original games for Nintendo, like I already beat the original Mario Brothers. I even played it on the Atari 2600. I beat the original Legend of Zelda.
Wait, what Mario Brothers on 26? Wait, you talking about just Mario Brothers where they were running back and forth through the pipes like crabs?
Yeah.
Crab people.
I was like, wait, what Mario Brothers are we talking? I'm sitting there thinking World 1-1, like.
Oh no,
no. I'm like 2600. Excuse me.
I beat in the Mario. I beat the original Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, and Super Mario: The Lost Levels. So
He's playing a bootleg version.
I'd love to see the 2600 version of Super Mario Brothers look like.
Spoilers, it's not good.
that is true. Which is weird because
it's like when you go back to the Master System of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's just like, oh my gosh, why does this even exist?
It was just the ET game reskinned.
Oh no!
He just walked around as Mario.
Well, where are you at? Where are you at in the original Metroid game? I'm curious. Which of the big three bosses that you fought have you fought so far?
I haven't fought none of the bosses.
You haven't even fought Kraid yet?
Nope, I haven't got to Craig yet. I'm still searching, looking for powers and everything.
The forgotten boss of Metroid series is Kraid. Everyone's like, oh, Ridley this and Ridley that. No.
Because I know he's almost the height of you. You just hit him with some missiles and kill him.
Yeah, well, in the original Metroid, all those bosses were the same size as Samus.
Yeah. So
couldn't fit anything else.
Craig. At first, I thought you said Craig. Like, you mean like the Halo meme guy?
No.
It's even better.
You know what? Every time I seen him, I used to think of Craig Mack, like his name, because it's Kraig. So I'm thinking it's like Craig. So, but yeah, I'd be Zero Mission, but like I said, I'm gonna play the original one, because I was thinking of going back to the Super Nintendo one just for fun.
I don't know, like if you played I feel like if you played Zero Mission, like there's no reason to go back and play the original Metroid. This is me speaking, and I'm a Metroid fan because like when you look at the original Metroid is so bare bones. Like there's no story to glean from that game.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's just.
All you're doing is running and shooting and running backwards.
I think it's just the experience of actually playing it and stuff. I think I'm just doing it for the experience because, like, when I get it. When I played Zero Mission, I really got a lot of the story, and I'm like, oh, this is a better remake than the first one. Like that and Samus Returns, it's like the better remakes of old games.
That's why they need to hurry the hell up and give me a freaking Super Metroid remake.
I've been wanting that. I
bet we get one. I bet we get one like Link's Awakening.
You think Nintendo and Mercury Steam are like together now for 2D Metroid?
Yeah, they probably have some sort of...
They better hurry up and put a ring on it before Sony puts a ring on it.
I mean, I don't know. Those Castlevania games they did weren't received very well. So, I don't know. I feel like Nintendo has a lot more oversight on these games than Konami even cared to do over that Castlevania game. So,
yeah.
Sony's a different story, LeRon, because it's like Housemarque and Insomniac. They've been working mostly with Sony, so that's why they went and purchased.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just. It's just funny because like I mean, all this news cropped up and everybody lost their minds. You know, after the announcement. Well, after the announcement of Housemarque and then the announcement of the Blue Point is still coming. Like it's not official yet, but everybody's losing their mind.
Can I tell you, Blue Point is. I don't care who buys Blue Point; they are top-notch quality for ports. And
yes, that is true. That is true. Yeah.
Like me and Corey talk about Panic Button and how just fantastic they are doing stuff on Nintendo. Blue Point is on point. Shadow of the Colossus is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just like, how the heck did you guys make this game better than the original? Like, this is crazy good.
I just wish that, you know, like the Sony before Crossroads airs, because I didn't see how we had all this stuff to talk about Tuesday night, and then by Thursday morning,
everything dropped.
I'm like, do we need to shift Crossroads to Thursday?
I mean, that's what we did. That's what we did for Tower Casuals. We originally were recording it on Monday nights, and then like there was nothing to talk about because the news stuff happened. Like every week for Destiny, the big news stuff drops on Thursdays weekly, right? Mm-hmm. They literally release a news package called This Week at Bungie on Thursdays. So we decided to start recording on Thursdays and getting the show out as fast as possible.
Nah, Crossroads is gonna stay on Tuesdays unless something unforeseeable happens.
And I got my Series X once again. Thank you guys.
Congrats!
Welcome to the party, pal.
People have been trying to get their PlayStation 5 because Best Buy ended up getting them, but I didn't see no pre-sales for them, like pre-order pickups for them. When I went to go get Outriders for Series X, and that's when it was rolling it in. So I'm thinking a lot of systems might be coming into stores or retail.
Xbox has been in stores for a couple weeks now.
And word on the street is the chip shortage is starting to get a little bit of relief.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Sony literally redesign their console to not use those chips because of the shortage? Like, apparently.
They're in discussion of redesigning, but there hasn't been anything concrete yet. Yeah. But graphics cards are starting to show up.
Yeah.
Okay. So with Series X, I played a little bit of Gears 4, installed it. It's the 1X version. I don't know. I'm still got to do Gears 5 and everything.
You have to manually go in and update them.
Yeah.
That's what we learned. What we learned about Final Fantasy 7.
If you buy the game on disc, you have to go in and manually update them.
Yeah,
maybe update them.
Yeah,
because when I put it in, it said it has these updates and everything.
Yeah, but you still have to go in to manage the game and figure out. I don't know how it works because I don't do physical games, but I do know you have to go in and update. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because I installed Forza Horizon 4 on Series X, and it was just the update is 75.69 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the actual series, because they did the Series X version for it, right? Mm-hmm. The upgrades for that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just when I got home, it's still in my system and everything. I didn't get a chance to check it or anything.
Yeah. I mean, but you might have to do check for I think you have to go in, manage game and check for updates, and then it'll update to the Series X version. But I don't really know because I don't do physical games on Xbox anymore. So.
Yeah, it's been a while too since.
Yeah. Oh, look at this guy being all elite.
Who's elite?
Now, actually, I've slowed down tremendously on buying discs. I pre-ordered Stories 2 digital. I didn't even want to deal with it, and I'm thinking about just freaking buying NFC cards for those amiibos.
Like I was telling Jesse, I'm not doing a lot of my Xbox One and 360 games on Series X because I'd rather just do a whole new Series X library for it, get those games and stuff. But I'm waiting for Scarlet Nexus, because that was supposed to be my first game actually on Xbox Series X. I'm still doing Gears 5. I gotta install that one because I want to see the Series X one version of it. Yes, probably some of the Microsoft stuff I'll do, but on my third party and stuff, even Watch Dogs Legion, I won't even need to update. I was thinking of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Why wouldn't you update Watch Dogs Legion, especially when that's one of the better?
Oh no, because I got everything installed on my Slim and stuff. Yeah. I don't feel like reinstalling and then taking stuff on and off because I don't have the SSD card yet. I still got to go buy one for that. And since it's only 1 terabyte, that takes up a lot of space and everything. So that's I think
Watch Dogs Legions isn't too big of a game.
Yeah, and since I don't have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I might just get the Series X version of it.
Well, that's the thing with smart delivery. That whatever you install it on, it'll know what version supposedly. So.
I didn't buy Valhalla, so that's why.
I'm saying you don't get to choose which version you buy. It just knows which version what box you're playing it on.
Yeah. So Yeah, I mean it's a big system. I didn't expect this thing to be big and heavy. I'm like, ooh.
I told you when Jesse and I got ours, it was huge. I told you. I told you it was big. It's heavy too. Like it's like it's girthy.
But I still at the same time it's heavy.
It's
Did
thick.
you have to say it like that?
It's thick
That's
with
what
like
she
4
said.
C's.
Exactly.
Phrasing, bro. Phrasing.
But but at the same time though, like honestly, it's as heavy as a 1X is.
But you
like
you
like the
wanna know-
1X is really dense.
But the way that you look at it through pictures and stuff, it doesn't look big until you actually see
Yeah.
see.
I don't
stuff.
think
Because,
I don't think the actual console looks big. I just think it looks weird because it's square. Like instead of like a like a flat rectangle like this like the 1X and the 1S are.
yeah, I mean it looks like a mini tower for a computer.
Yeah.
And it's just that the way that when you see pictures of it, it's different than it's actually seeing it in, like visible and stuff.
Yeah.
So
It looks
That's
way
what-
better standing up too than it does laying down.
yeah, I got
Oh,
my
yeah. In my opinion, it's a sin.
Wait. It lays down.
Yeah.
I thought only you could do is stack it out like a chimney.
No, it lays down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got rubber bumpers on the one face of the side,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so you can lay it down if you want.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's a sin
Hold
in
on,
my eyes.
Hold on, let me see this. I need to see
Because
pictures of this.
I have my Series X and
Okay,
It looks ridiculous laying down.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah.
It looks cool standing up, but it looks super
Yeah.
stupid laying down. I feel
Yeah.
bad for anybody who has to lay that box down.
And wait, is there legit a green light at the
It's
top
not.
of it?
It's not a light. It's just.
It's not a light. It's
the
just
fan.
plastic.
Yeah, the plastic around the fan is
Yeah.
green.
I'll punch a hole in my wall to make room for it to stand up before
I know, right?
lay that son of a bitch
Yeah.
down.
My wife's like, do you need me to clear? Like when I got it, my wife's like, do we need to clear stuff out of the top shelves of the entertainment center so you could throw it? I'm like, no, I'm just scooting the TV over and standing it up because this thing looks stupid laying down.
yeah, I had
Actually, hold on. This doesn't look too bad. This picture right here.
As he
I actually-
laughs.
I actually got a
get a
This-
dinner. What is it? A TV tray. Just set
This
it
is-
next to your TV.
This is how I'm gonna trigger all my friends with OCD. Like I'm gonna get an Xbox Series X and I'm gonna put it on its side.
Right. I got an HDMI splitter and stuff.
Mhm.
So when I get my PS5, I'll just connect that and just keep my Switch to its own port and stuff. Cause like I'm trying to get I'm trying to finish a lot of my old games, and since they're like already installed, I'd rather just play them on that system because it's there and be done with it, and then just build a whole brand new library for Series X. And when I get my PlayStation 5, do Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man, and yeah. But that's pretty much all that I'm playing.
Cool.
Just waiting for
Oh, Ratchet and Clank. That's another game that's pissed off at Monster Hunter Stories.
Dude, so many people beat that game like throughout the weekend, the week that it came out. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, apparently it's a short game. Well, not short as in like you can beat it in 5 hours, but short. But the same because the same people who beat Resident Evil 3 remake in the weekend are the same people who can beat Ratchet and Clank in the weekend.
Yeah.
And normally some of the games are a little bit longer. That's why
I thought
I
Ratchet
feel like
and
they
Clank
always-
games were always.
Yeah, I always felt like they track like like you can beat it in like 72 to 96 hours. Like I'm saying 96 hours as in like the days, not the amount of time you spend in the game.
I think if you're not doing the side stuff and not doing like leveling up your weapons, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing Monster Hunter Stories and Mario Golf, and we talked about both those games already, so we can probably move on. Although
Destiny.
I am enjoying both. Yeah, I'm playing Destiny also. I just it's on the I'm on the grind. It's not. I don't know what I'm grinding for because like I hate the Solstice of Heroes event that's coming up. It's so stupid. I hate that event so much. Except the armor looks cool, so I always start it intending to get the armor, and then the armor just it sucks. The the event just sucks so bad that I'm just like, well, I guess I'll wait like 6 weeks before I pop the game in again because it sucks.
I just give you $50 and get it.
Yeah, I'll just save up my Bright Dust for my seasonal challenges that I haven't completed either. So,
PCP.
but I have been. Do you really need to type that in the chat, Ed?
Yes, I'll be back. Continue forward the conversation.
Ed says he'll be right back because he has to go to the bathroom. He couldn't just get up and go.
And he gave us the okay to continue the conversation.
Yeah, now you're going to hear a little Skype whoop in the chat on the audio. Is there a way to turn that off? Because everybody seems to like message each other in the Skype chat, and then it's just like whoop, whoop, whoop.
I can't tell you.
So, anyways, Mario Golf is also fun. Man, this video. I look real tired in this video. It's fine. It's fine. It's only almost 1:30 in the morning. It's fine. Mario Golf's fun. Monster Hunter Stories is really fun also. So, I guess I'll talk a little bit about Monster Hunter Stories until Ed gets back because I wanted to have this conversation and he leaves at the worst possible time. Ed,
Well, I mean, I'm here.
you are here. I'm just saying, like, I wanted to talk about our main topic, but
Oh! I thought you meant Monster Hunter Stories.
No, Monster Hunter Stories.
I got excited. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'll talk about Monster Hunter Stories. I like it. I like it a lot. I think I like the art style. I like the way the story is going. Like, you playing the riders instead of the hunters, and like, I don't really know what's going on because I don't know the lore of Monster Hunter, but it seems cool, right? Like,
You'll find out.
Like, I don't know who this white-haired like elf chick is who, like, you know, was getting the egg from the I'm assuming that's a Rathalos, right?
Yes.
So, see, I knew that much. I paid attention.
Wow.
It was like, yeah. So, I think that's. I think that's cool. I like this how the story kind of centers around your character being the grandchild of one of the best riders ever, or whatever, and like the legend of the what is it? The legend of the what? LeRon, help me out.
The Guardian Ratha.
Yeah, that one. The Guardian Ratha. So I really like that aspect.
Which you know, that's the one thing that kind of bothers me. It bothers me. Like, why do they got to give it like cutified names? Like, come on, guys. Like,
Have you seen the art style of this game?
I don't care. Like,
they're clearly appealing to the people who like cute anime chicks.
Well, I get that. Well, I get that anime like forehead vein when I hear Monsty.
Yeah, I'm like. That word bothers me too.
Well, actually, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. They called it Monsties because if you played the first game, like it was like chibi versions of Monster Hunter, like basically. Like this game, actually, like they've redesigned because even Ryozo, the executive producer for Monster Hunter, overall, he said they went for a more mature look this time. Even though technically, you know, your character
instead of aiming for 5-year-olds, they aim for 12-year-olds who watch a lot of anime.
Like the monsters are like 3 times the scale of what they were in the first game. Yeah. Like the monsters that you ride, like they don't look like absolute babies anymore. Yeah, they look like the full versions of they look like the grown-up versions of the monsters.
Yeah, I remember hearing that Monsties for the first time, and it had those real fur baby vibes.
Yeah, it's always rubbed me the wrong way, and we're talking 4 years later. It's still like oh. It's like those people who get turned off at the word moist.
Oh wow,
moist.
I have that reaction.
I don't understand why people get upset at the word moist, by the way.
I don't know either, because when I hear moist, I'm thinking of food. I'm not thinking of like whatever mess they're thinking about.
Was it Betty Crocker who used to be like the moist cake and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Everything I love to eat is moist.
Well, it's 1:30 in the morning, so I guess this is Boss Rush After Dark.
Wow.
We'll bring that back at some point in the near future.
Hey, I almost made it happen while you were on paternity leave.
I mean, look, I'm not going to stop you if you want to make that a Patreon exclusive.
Oh wow.
So,
but we have to have a balance though. Like we've got enough women content creators, under Boss Rush's umbrella. So like we do it after dark. There has to be some female presence on there too. It can't just be one giant sausage party because that's not fun.
But an all females night would be really
that's
entertaining.
True. That too.
That would be really entertaining.
Get Stephanie, Celeste, Nelly, and who else?
Get Kayla and Jen on there.
Yes, yeah. Let them run. Let them run.
Well, that's the end of Boss Rush.
You know what? Hold on. We should do an infiltration. We should have the Crossroads crew run an episode of Pal Block. We should have Pal Block run an episode of Crossroads,
like they used to do in basketball. They used to do that during the NCAA tournament. They would have like the NBA host the NCAA game, and then they would have the NCAA host do the NBA game. It was
I told Corey about that.
We should do an infiltration.
I told Corey about that we switched up the host.
But you know what? Just so it's not complete calamity, we keep one original person from the show. From that show, just to keep it kind of square.
For sure, I would have to do PlayStation because I hosted it on the Arsenal X before and Power Block. So
because I don't want Crossroads to be running Power Block for an episode, and then Corey's coming at me for all the negative comments on the YouTube show the next morning.
I could just see, where's it at? I'm like, uh-oh.
Maybe that'll be maybe that be like a voting thing where like, hey, let's throw it up. Which crew do you think would host Power Block better, Arsenal X or Crossroads? Because we added Stoy to the Arsenal X crew, so it's
we could call those episodes the Bizarro, Bizarro Crossroads or Bizarro Power Block.
And you and I will do the PlayStation show and just not talk about PlayStation at all.
Oh yeah,
basically. Like we used to do
PS1.
Like we used to do back in the day when we talked about PlayStation, all we talked about was Nintendo and Xbox skill.
Oh yeah, like Arsenal X would basically become Nintendo Power Block 2.0 for like 30 episodes. Man,
everybody get your jar ready because I'll be filling it up.
Anyways, so the main topic tonight of the show is obviously this is episode 100 of Boss Rush. We're gonna kind of talk about where we've been and what we plan to do, but also like kind of figure out. I want to figure out what to do with this show, guys. I'm really struggling to find an identity for this show. But and this is kind of like, I would say this is the OG crew, right? I mean, it obviously Ed, Jesse, and I are started the show, and then we brought LeRon on specifically to be here. Because, well, look at him. Texting on his phone. Probably soliciting OnlyFans coins or whatever they're called.
Wow. LeRon is nerdy as us, so.
Yeah.
Oh, man. We're going to get banned by what's on LeRon's phone right now. Anyways. So... I mean, 100 episodes we've done. What stands out about the Boss Rush podcast for us? Like, what stands out? How are we doing? I guess is the main question.
I think it's just the natural conversations that we have that's outside of games and entertainment. Like when we just talk about sometimes real life stuff for out of one discussion, another one happens, and I think it's just something like sometimes when we free roam and stuff, it feels real, and we know that we're not being disrespectful, we're not being too critical or anything. It's just a good conversation to have, because when we get off from the show and everything, we sometimes will continue the conversation later on, or we'll be like, you know what, that was a great show because that was a great conversation to have.
Yeah, like for me, the one thing I do enjoy is just like sometimes like when we're doing AX, or when LeRon, when you're doing Crossroads, like you've kind of got your set crew, but like this gives us a chance to kind of bring other people in. And and that's the thing is, like, if this did go away, like I definitely would miss that. I'm sure we would find another way to do stuff with more people, but at the same time, I still want to be able to have that like time on the weekend where we can like play games with maybe like people that are in the in the community, or even just like in the network, or against other people on other shows, or whatever, and like it's unfortunate for me, and I feel like this is kind of the same for you, but at this, like, you do have a little bit more options sometimes than me, but like my weekend is really the only time that I get to do anything, like like outside of playing games when I get home for a little bit after work or whatever before I go to bed. But like to be able to interact with you guys, like really the weekend is the only time I get to, because I work, at night. So when, I always, every once in a while, I'll see people, be like, oh, we're going to play this online together. And it bums me out, because I don't really get to participate in any of that. And so I'd really want to be able to do stuff like that. But at the same time, I enjoy doing this show too, so it's such a like bummer situation. Why can't I have a third weekend day off or something?
And
it sucks.
That's the thing too, is like, Jesse, you and I have been trying to figure out in the last couple weeks of like, how do we bring Arsenal X back up to the the strength of the other shows? Because like I don't know, I feel like that show's changed hands so many times at this point, and like that's another show that we've kind of struggled to find an identity with too, and after I just don't know. And like the thing is too, we want to bring that show back alive, but like we want to use Saturday nights as a community show or a community game night or something, or bring back like our live stuff of like when we used to do Fortnite or Halo or something like that, right? Like we wanted to use that as like a Xbox community night or something once or twice a month. And it's like, well, Arsenal X needs to be Saturday night or Sunday, and like Saturday nights are nights where I spend time with the wife until she falls asleep, and Sunday nights was this show, right? And it kind of sucks, because like that Saturday, like I know it was really inconvenient for a lot of people to have this show on Saturdays during the day, but like it really, like, it was almost like a free spot for me, where like, okay, I have this show, but it frees up the night, to do something else.
For sure, same.
And like, and this is a selfish thing for me, but I also don't want to do like 4 shows a week either, So, which I think is a big reason why we brought Stoy on. And like, I want to be like, I don't know. I just feel like there's so much going on, and I don't want to say we've spread ourselves thin. I just feel like everybody's schedule is so off that it's like, well, where do we fit this in,
Yeah.
And I feel bad too, right? Because like Ed used to be a big part of this show, and then due to a lot of people's schedules, he like unfortunately got cut out because of work schedules and stuff. And it's like, I feel bad about that too, like I feel bad about a lot of things, right? Like there's been a lot of decisions made that have, you know, either cut people out or hurt or people or whatever, like and just trying to figure out what to do with a couple specific shows has just been kind of like really bogging down my brain, you know.
Well, I know for me, you know, with the change of the shows and me like stepping away from the stuff due to work and everything, I think it opens up a lot of opportunities to other people here on Boss Rush to let them be on the show and be able to talk and everything. You know, I used to tell Corey that I'm sad I missed the show stuff because I know you guys are having a good conversation, but I had to get used to that. You know, sometimes it's giving me that podcasting break. Kind of helped me, you know, to be like, it's good that other people are coming in and being able to talking about stuff, you know. And sometimes I just have no choice. I got to get most of my game time playing during the day while you guys are at work and stuff, so I could be able to talk about stuff and be able to write about things. So it's been a good thing for me, because like LeRon, if you don't know, like before me and Corey got together to do stuff, I was doing about 5 to 6 podcasts, you know, throughout the week. And this is when
I'm sure you were,
you know, and so going from those many podcasts to like maybe 2 or 3 a week and stuff, and being able to fill in whenever I can, like it's good for me. You know, because I don't have to rush and try to be on everything and stuff.
Yeah. And
well, I think ultimately that will be the game, the end goal anyway. Like every show like has its set cast, every show has its identity, and we're not just talking about specific content identity. Like we've got Crossroads, we got Arsenal X, we got Pow Block. You know, like, you know,
which is what we're doing, right? Like I had this conversation with Ed yesterday during my lunch period at work, and I had a conversation with Stoy and I had a conversation with Dan. Each my kind of because to be open with everybody, we're prepping monetization probably within the next 4 to 6 weeks, right? Like monetizing the website, figuring out how to what the best route for monetizing live streams are, like if we should do Facebook and YouTube also, or if we should just stick to Twitch and do the affiliate program, and prepping some stuff for a Patreon, like a light Patreon, you know, because you know, we all put in a lot of work. I feel like, you know, and people don't have to be obligated to do like pay for our content or anything, but I also feel like everybody puts in a lot of work, and we have for a long time to be rewarded for that work, right? And that's kind of like the goal here. And what we were talking about is like each console team is going to have 2 leaders in terms of content creation and production and whatever, right? Like Jesse, you and Stoy are going to be the Xbox people, right?
Yeah.
LeRon, you and Austin are the PlayStation people, and then when Nelly comes back, right, like whatever she can do to help or provide. And then Ed, you and I are going to be heading the Nintendo team. Obviously, Dan and David are heading the website and the writing team, right? Like that's, you know, and I know there's going to be more announcements coming for that during the writers' meeting on Wednesday. But I feel like each team has their own leaders now, right? Like, and that's kind of what we're aiming at. And LeRon, I had an idea, and I know you're a big PC guy. I was going to ask you privately, but since we're on this topic, like I didn't know if you wanted Crossroads to add some PC style stuff, a PC segment or whatever. I know like the show you just did with Austin, just the 2 of you last week was like, it was one of the best shows I listened to, you know, like
thanks.
Thanks. Like you messaged me, or I messaged you, and you were talking about, you know, you and Austin had this really good chemistry last week, and I could really tell, right? And that's kind of when I messaged Austin privately. I was like, hey, I don't want anybody to feel like, the big thing here too is like, I don't want anybody to feel obligated to do anything that they don't want to do or aren't capable of doing, right? And I messaged Austin. I was like, hey, I don't want you to feel obligated because I know his work schedule is real crazy and whatever too. Like, but I want you to be a PlayStation leader with LeRon, right? And he said, yeah. So like, I feel like our console teams are set. Our website team is set. We're going to figure out that other monetization side during a meeting, hopefully a meeting soon. But I feel like we started the Boss Rush podcast because we didn't have time to do Arsenal X and Nintendo Power Block, and at the time NGR and everything else we were doing, right? We just didn't have the time because we wanted to try to do the Let's Plays and live stream games and stuff. So like, obviously we started the NX show, which obviously became the Boss Rush podcast, and 2 years later, here we are. But now that those console shows exist and Crossroads exists and the 1v1s exist and like everything we were trying to push into this one show has expanded into 4 or 5 other shows. Like my biggest thing is like, what do we do with this show? Like,
yeah.
And
sometimes like, we're stepping on the toes of the other shows, you know, it feels like when we do this sometimes. And like the one thing I just wanted to add really quick that, you know, like the thing is like I said, like I love doing this show. I love getting to talk with people. I don't get to that often. But at the same time, I also want to make sure that, you know, we're not flooding the market per se with stuff, because I want to, you know, get, you know, promote like EXP cast more and, you know, promote WSD and beyond. And, you know, like, like I'd rather people be giving them support and stuff like that instead of like watching this show. Like I almost feel like sometimes, you know, like if we're putting out a bunch of content out, especially for people who don't have as much free time as someone like me, where they can listen to 8 hours, you know, of at work of content. You know, not everyone's that lucky or fortunate, but you know, like I want our other shows that you know that we've kind of, you know, we're working with to also get the attention and stuff too, you know. So
well, and sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was thinking about this earlier today, and I was like, I don't know. I really don't want the podcast to go away per se, but what if we had? What if it just became the Boss Rush Network podcast, and people from the network would come together once a week and just podcast? Like, who hosts that? What does that look like? How do we structure that? That was one idea I had to you know, Jesse, to your point, to get WASD and beyond on here, to get EXP cast on here, or maybe we have each one of those shows like host a separate show each week or something. Like EXP hosts it like once every 6 weeks or something, or WASD hosts it once every something like that. I don't know. Or maybe it would just be like a collaboration effort every week. Maybe that's what it looks like. Maybe, you know, Ed and I discussed maybe doing like a best of the week of Boss Rush on as like you know, pod clips where we intro it and outro it for like 20 to 30 minutes, and then shove the best pod clips from the week into one episode. But then again, like, why wouldn't you just listen to the other episodes?
Actually, here's the idea. As I was listening to you guys, here's what we do. We want to go ahead and start. We definitely need to start bringing more attention to our second class. You know, and I'm pretty sure eventually there'll be a third class. You know, add to the fold and stuff like that. Maybe it's time that maybe it's time to kind of turn the Boss Rush Network podcast over to them. Still have some of the OG guys still, having a little bit of oversight or whatnot. Maybe having a seat. Rotate us out basically. 1 week Corey's on, but it's the rest of them. 1 week Ed's on, but it's the rest of them. 1 week I'm on, but it's the rest of them. 1 week Jesse's on, but it's the rest of them. Stuff like that. Give them a chance to get their identities out there, and also send people in the direction of their podcasts and their shows and their things that they're doing and stuff like that. And
and we just rotate hosts, maybe a different team leader hosts the show, like you said, they're on maybe we just host one episode a month, each one of us host one episode.
Yeah, and with it being the Boss Rush Network show, then that means we can definitely bring Logan and his crew over from Boss Rush Entertainment and stuff like that. And you see more of our faces and stuff like that. Not saying that it's not like you're seeing that our audience was seeing the same people week in and week out, because we've had Dan on, we've had Pat on, we've had Stoy on, we've had Austin on, Nelly's been on, we've had other people from other shows, but they've always been people from our main fixture shows.
And maybe if we give people an opportunity who don't host all that often or at all, if they want to try their hand at hosting and putting a show together, maybe we do that too, because I know people want a well-produced show and everything, and I've heard the feedback of people we've had people on that don't really know how to podcast, but that's the point, right? You get people involved so they learn how to podcast, or they learn how, if they don't like it, then they don't have to do it, or maybe if they like it, they want to change some things or try new things. I think that's a good opportunity to allow other people, people from our writing team, maybe they've wanted to podcast or be a guest on, and maybe they're too timid or
they might be intimidated by us, because some of us, for example, with the feedback that I hear from Crossroads and stuff, I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, we don't want to mess with you guys. You guys are good." It's no, come on the show.
I've heard that too. We've wanted to get some people on some of the shows, and sometimes some guests aren't as good as others, but that's not the point. The point is to get more people involved, and maybe we add that to the list too of people to get on the show. It's maybe someone from the writing team wants to come on and talk and hang out and be a part of a podcast, and that would help promote the website and the writing stuff too.
Because I know one thing that had been mentioned is by Dan and them, and I think is a really good idea of the. Sometimes the stuff that the guys write on the website would be a good thing to bring up as a topic for show, to kind of get promotion and people looking at some of the stuff that's being written, and that would kind of be a nice
I've tried
Crossroads has been doing that.
I've tried to incorporate the Boss Rush banter pieces at the top of the podcast. The thing is we are just getting to the point where David finally has the schedule right to because we didn't have enough banter pieces or enough schedule to look at the week ahead, right? Because we changed this show coming out the Monday after we record it, which also big mistake on my part. Doing that and Pow Block back to back is almost just shattered my soul.
I understand why you were doing why you did the Boss Rush podcast the way it was for that short little time, because we had to focus on monetization and doing expansion content through let's say a Patreon, for example. So you wanted to give people early access to some of the content, but it just never went to fruition the way it was planned. So it just seemed like we had a show that was hosting news from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, it's breaking the formula for Boss Rush. It's always, because I think one of the things with the Boss Rush podcast is that it falls into the same formula like every other show, where it's what we've been playing, some news, and then a topic.
And I think that's the main problem with this show, right? LeRon, releasing it a week later with old news, right? Because we fell into the formula. Ed, like you said, it's just that's the main problem with the show is like the formula needs to change, and we need to get more people of the network involved, and we need to start using the banter pieces and the editorials and some of the news pieces from the website, and we need to get some of the writing team involved. Like there's all these pieces that
you know what I think I have it. And basically it's basically the format that because if you guys have noticed, like starting with episode like 40 of Crossroads, I changed the format of Crossroads. It's no longer so news heavy. I threw out like the blurbs. I turned blurbs into full-fledged news topics, and it gave us time to still have our big discussion. I think what might work is we use elements of the old formula from Crossroads. Basically, like throw out a few like quick things. And when I say quick things, I'm like, well, my original plan for blurbs on Crossroads was supposed to be like for example, Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima's next game is looking like it's going to be an Xbox exclusive. You only speak about the highlights of that article, and you don't have a conversation about it. You basically tell the audience what's relevant about it, and you move on to the next topic. That way, it gets them to the point where they
want to hear more about it. And go to Arsenal X, and they'll be talking
exactly.
About it.
And I think,
sorry, I just want to get this out real quick because it's on LeRon's point. I listened to this show called the HP Podcast, and what they do is they have like whatever the 2 or 3 biggest stories are of the week, and not that we would do this with the Boss Rush podcast, but they go in depth of the 2 or 3 biggest stories of the week, and then they have a list of news items called quickies that they just read off. Like, they spend maybe less than 2 minutes on the topic if somebody has something to say on it.
And then what that does, because it's a different crew. It's not us, the mainstays anymore. The different crew, they get to talk about things that basically helps identify them as individuals within Boss Rush Network and stuff like that. So they can have their own forum topics. For example, like let's say for example, like Stephanie has done wonderful pieces about basically diversity and like imaging in video games and stuff like that. And they've gotten some of the biggest, loudest, mofos out there talking, like the lot of sexist and misogynist stuff like that, stuff like that. That's the pulse of gaming right there, because despite what those naysayers may, there are people who want to hear about stuff like that, like another, like hell, like look at how many times I got attacked just for the Aloy and misogyny thing, recently, with Horizon Zero Dawn. Like I got attacked for that. People came to my YouTube channel to thumbs down and give me like negative comments and stuff like that. And you know what? I flourish for that stuff because I want people to have the conversation.
Well, and we've been talking about that when we do these podcasts, when we create these discussions and topics, we want to hear the feedback because I think when you get feedback, whether it's positive or negative, it kind of lets you know the stuff that you're doing is not falling on deaf ears. You're getting people involved to really come out and say something. It's I say it's easier to tell something or say something or this is junk or this is crap and never give no context to it. It's always easy to do that. But when you have to give context to something, that whatever we're doing and we're talking about, that changes the whole conversation. Because now you have to, not saying you have to supply evidence, now you have to speak on it. Now it's time for you to have that conversation. And we've been... I think that's the thing with all of our shows, just individual shows outside of Boss Rush, is that the topics that we bring and the way that the formats that we've been doing, it really gets people involved. It, outside of Nintendo, PlayStation, Arsenal East, or whatever you want to call it, we all do something different.
We're calling it Arsenal Snacks with an X.
Arsenal Snacks. Okay. Like the
Double X.
like the Game Fact events on Pop Block, LeRon, the things that you do on it, like when you used to do the blurbs and stuff and everything, me and Jesse, we literally just sometimes not even have a format. We actually just get into discussing stuff, and we don't. And sometimes we just bring out a topic that's unplanned and everything. That kind of forms each and everybody's show. So if we do get people come in to host it, that's them. They're going to format that. They're going to have that kind of way that they want to do their own show, and their topics are going to be good.
Yeah,
And we want to have
one
that.
thing.
Oh, go ahead.
The one thing I appreciate about you guys when y'all brought me on is Corey. You said LeRon, like we want you guys to do a PlayStation show. We want you to do a PlayStation show. Like you figure out what you want to do and you just run with it and stuff like that. And you gave me like the complete creative control on that and everything, right? Like I basically started copying what was done on. Actually, I copied what was done for the Boss Rush podcast at first, and then it basically by the time we got to episode like 7 or 8, like it became its own monster by itself and stuff like that.
And that's the thing too, is like with different hosts and stuff on all the shows, is like I want each show to feel like they have their own personality and their own identity, while still feeling like a Boss Rush show, if that makes sense. Like I feel like, I feel like we do that pretty well, right? Like, and like selfishly, like, yeah, I would really miss hosting a podcast, right? Like it's what I love to do is hosting. And like, if the show went away, like I would just be the co-host on, multiple shows, which is fine. Like, I want what's best for us moving forward, right? Like, LeRon, you sound like you were gonna say something.
Oh, I was gonna say, here's the thing, because I just realized, like the only show you really have is Tower Casuals, Yeah. And sometimes it feels like it's more Josh's show than yours.
I mean, it is. Like, he's like, as much as I love Destiny and I'm in the Destiny, he makes me feel like, I don't know, when Ed plays Destiny, you know what I mean? Like,
so here's the thing then. Then you're the one that needs to be the only real fixture on the Boss Rush podcast, Boss Rush Network podcast. And have the other people from the second class and our extended family showing up and stuff like that. And basically, I hate to say it, I'm sorry, Ed. I'm sorry, Jesse. I'm sorry to myself. Like, we need to like be banned from the show unless like we're there to fill a capacity.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't want to do 4 or 5 shows a week. This is the problem too.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Well, it's the chicken and the egg thing. I get it.
And like like I said earlier, for me, it's just like I'm cool filling in. I'm cool stepping aside because, like, yes, as much as I got to do with Power Block, like when like when everybody was upset and felt sad that I didn't do Snack Tendo that one episode, because I'm like, I got to get into some other stuff because that's I want to get into E3.
Well, it's the expectation too, right? It's like
Yeah, like when you break the formula like unexpectedly, like people like it causes ripples and stuff like that. That's why I always try, like, whenever, because like we don't have Rumor Control is actually a fixture on Crossroads, but we don't have it every single week. And I always make sure to say, hey, no Rumor Control this week. Like obviously there's not enough rumors out there. Like last week had like 5 different rumors. we had to pick one.
And I think that's why I switch up Game Fact events with everybody to be like, you find the fact and talk about it. And I think that's kind of how Boss Rush Podcast is, that if we bring on new people, they get a chance to host. If they get familiar with it, because you don't know what to expect. If you're hosting for the first time or coming on to a podcast. Me and Corey talked about this a lot of times. When you're doing stuff for the first time, it's going to be nerve-wracking and it's going to be terrible. And it's supposed to be that because you're learning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the cool thing is, like, got OG guys like yourselves, like, like there's a good safety net to fall back on, like anyone can easily say, hey, like, I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out. I mean, good God, I think I want to say I had like the most OCD show notes for a show. but also here's some insider magic. My show notes are also my script. It's like I do say like and a lot during my shows, but the actual script keeps me from saying 10 trillion of those like and ums.
Mm-hmm. That's why, like, in the show notes, I write down the intros and the outros, and like if we're plugging something, and then if I have to do something on the fly, I'm like, yeah, sure, yep. But
yeah, I mean, it's a learning process. But the good news is, like, there's so many of us here and everything that have been established for a while and stuff like that. Like, I think that if we turn it over to like some of the new people, like, they're not going to flounder. Like, they may feel like a fish out of water. For example, like Austin had been saying for months that he felt like he did not contribute to the show, and then like, but you listen to every show, like even shows before last week's episode, because last week's episode, man, it was. Like if you didn't know anybody, you'd swear like we were drinking buddies on that show. we sound like a bunch of college frat boys talking, and stuff like that. There was even one segment where we got through talking. I'm like, oh my god, we're so dumb, aren't we? So like that. Everybody has their thing, and everybody has the way they fit.
Yeah. My thing is too is like what we're kind of planning in terms of monetization and bonus content and that kind of thing is like there's gonna be I'll be sad that I'm not hosting like a regular main show, but like there's enough of that bonus content that I'll be hosting that it's like, well, after about 2 weeks I won't miss it at all, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
because like we're planning on like early, like spoiler casts and stuff for games, and I have a list of stuff I'll give you guys. I have a rough draft of what we kind of want to do for Pal Block that I'll send you guys, and then again, like with the like the Patreon and stuff, like I don't want anybody to feel like they have to pay for stuff. Like, yeah, we're gonna do spoiler casts, but they'll be free like 4 weeks later, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna release like a best of the premium content at some point. LeRon's either getting shot at or fireworks.
Yeah, like at 2:00 in the morning though. What's up with that?
Oh, goodness.
Dude, they're going to be going off till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning here. I still hear them outside. Like, I'm surprised you guys don't hear them.
Ours stopped and the police came went somewhere.
But like, we're going to do like a best of, right, which is where the pod clips idea kind of will evolve, where like we'll take like the best 4 to 6 clips of the week from the premium shows and put them in one show, and release it once a month, that kind of stuff. And then, we're going to give people voting options and stuff on live streams and community game nights and stuff. Our people in our Discord who subscribe to our Patreon will get a special logo or a special emblem or whatever you call those things. What do you call them? The emoji. I don't know. Whatever those things are.
Yeah, I know.
Is it a badge?
Yeah, a badge. Thanks, Jesse.
The person who uses it the least.
Yeah. So, but I mean that's kind of the idea. Like I think that we are strong enough to finally launch one. It's going to be simple. It's going to have some stretch goals on it, but it's not going to be like, oh, you're obligated to do this to listen to us, right? I think we all do enough that people can be satisfied with free stuff, right? So,
yeah.
And Dan and I are talking about ways to monetize the website and trying to figure out what the best option to go with the streaming and stuff. And if you have Twitch Prime, or if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, and you get one free sub. I give mine to LeRon, most of the time. I think mine expires today, actually. So
I appreciate you.
For what?
For Twitch Prime.
Oh
yeah. I spread out. There's a couple of people I give it to, and I just try to switch it up because there's different people. I don't really do a whole lot of watching stuff on there, but there is a couple like recently that I've started watching. But
yeah, I just don't like people. I like LeRon, but I just don't like people. So
wait, what?
Yeah, I don't like you, Ed.
What?
I just keep you around to, I don't know. Don't start that with me, Ed, where you ended our meeting call so you go, chat away with,
with my bae.
Oh,
out. So if anyone's been replaced,
Oh,
it's been
what was I? What was I doing on all in the chat all day today? Canceling people? You about to get canceled?
I was speaking to you on the side about stuff.
I don't want to know what Ed's DMs to LeRon look like.
You don't. You don't.
No. look around. We could agree about that. That's one thing.
So I mean,
I know.
I mean, I think that's a good. I think that's a good plan though. Is get more of the network people involved. Because we've done this is on me because I kind of try to run social media whenever I can. I've done a poor job of promoting the first and second classes of creators that we've brought in. Also, I'm like toying around with a partner program, right, where like whatever LeRon's content looks like, we would use some of the Patreon money to like help bolster that content too. That's in the works because LeRon, you do your own stuff too. It's like, well, yeah, we could help. We could get that out there.
Yeah, but at the same time, I always try to offer to help out like the other shows too and stuff like that. If you guys ever need help or any pointers, besides just the whole like, hey, can you show up on the show and stuff like that, like I'm always there for you, unless I absolutely don't have the time because balancing work and and banging my head against the wall, like trying to like revolutionize Crossroads content and stuff like that, and I gotta find a way to revitalize Hunters for Hire because I need to find a co-host.
Look, LeRon, we've been you and I are kind of the same type of people where we tinker. We're like, yeah, 99.9% of people that watch our shows won't think anything about the backgrounds or the way the chat appears on the screen or where the logos are.
Yes.
But that 0.1%, which is us, watch it.
It's driving us up the wall.
Yeah, and you look at it. How many times have I changed stuff, Ed, because I don't like the way it looks 5 weeks later?
a lot. And the thing about it, is I try to convince Corey. He's like, no, I still don't like it. And then me and him spending like an hour and a half talking. Me and Jesse do the same thing with music. Jesse would send me a track, and I'd be like, okay, you need to change this because this doesn't sound right. And Jesse would go and do it, and then I'd be like, okay, I love it. Like me and Jesse have spent, I think, on one track that was like for 35 seconds, like 2.5 hours trying to get drums and stuff ready.
Yeah, I think Arsenal X and Crossroads have the two best theme songs right now. I don't know. I still think the best thing Jesse has ever done was the Javelins for Hire theme song, which was our 8-episode anthem podcast that we started.
I like my personal favorite. Oh, I do like the Arsenal X one, but I like the one that I had made for 1v1 too. I like that because that one's like kind of got a unique synthy sound to it. I don't know if I haven't listened. I don't know what things the podcast we're using.
I have 3 music files in the project music file that say 1v1 music, and I never remember which one was the one that you made, but because they're all labeled 1v1.
I know I've heard it in the intros a couple of times, but there was a episode after once that was a different song, and then but otherwise I can resend it to you if you want, and just name it like.
Jesse, did you ever do the chill hop pop block one?
Yeah, remember I sent it to you. Aren't you using it?
Oh, because I think you went back to rework it, and I don't know if you did.
I could have thought I finished it because there was a time I think that I was sending it things and sending it back to you, and then eventually I thought you were good with it, and I thought I sent you that.
Make a new one. Let's just start fresh.
Okay.
I'm trying to work on like getting the nice little like subscribe and follow like little subheaders that you see on the videos and stuff. I would
really like to do that too.
Well, hey, if I get it done first, I'll give it to you.
All right, cool. I look, between my regular job with people being out and me staying over, and this second job I am doing now, it's like, man, my time is
and your third job of being daddy.
Yeah, it's just
yeah. There's a lot of things with AX too that I've been thinking about, and because I do want to try to get that, because the thing is I. It's been a couple of episodes now, quite a few that I've been hosting, but it's still very foreign to me. Like I'm trying to get better at it. But one of the things, Jesse?
I didn't feel like I'd come full circle, so I did episode 25, and episode 25 was like a big episode for us because we had Nick Apostolides from Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Like that was the first time I felt like I was really doing something.
Well, the thing that helps me a lot is I literally write down the intro to the show every week.
Yeah.
And I just read it with excitement and try to be happy, and I try to get through it not as quick as possible, but just like, I think that's the one thing. Ed, I was actually going to talk to you about this at some point and before Monday. I feel like our outros are too long. Like a lot of podcast outros, like I can see in analytics, if our episode is like an hour and 20 minutes and our outro is like 6 minutes, you can see where people stop listening. It's like, they stop listening as soon as you say, okay, thanks for listening to the show. And like, I think our outros need to be snappier. I think I think our housekeeping needs to be uniform across the board. Right.
Yeah, I see.
Don't tell me that, because I keep changing the housekeeping for crossfit.
Well, I don't mean uniform. I don't mean like uniform, like everybody has to say the same thing. I just mean like I guess consistent is the better word.
Well, the one thing I always try to make sure to do in the housekeeping is to definitely like bring the attention to like the Boss Rush YouTube, the Boss Rush website. And then like when I say stuff about my YouTube and my Twitch and my website, well, I have no website. I don't know why I was about to say website, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But I basically plug myself twice in the show. I plug myself during the housekeeping while plugging Boss Rush as well, and then I plug myself at the end of the show when it's like the end of it.
Which is what I think what you should do. I just mean like the other night, Pal Block's outro was like almost 9 minutes, and I'm like, we gotta not do that.
What were y'all talking about?
I don't remember. Ed kept going on, and every time I thought he was going to end, he started bringing up something else, and I was like, "Oh boy."
I'm sorry.
Here's the best way to outro this. You basically, because what I've done is I always try with my outros. I always try to bring the attention back to the Boss Rush Games website. Like that. So I have like I usually have one pick from a podcast show, whether it be Arsenal X, Power Block, or whoever, 1v1 or whoever, and then I talk about two pieces that are up on the website for the editorials and stuff like that, and then I just move on.
Also, I think a good thing too would be like, instead of like promoting all the other shows at once at an outro or something, like I know sometimes we try to do like, maybe after housekeeping we have a segment called like shout out or something, and we shout out one of the other shows, either one of our shows or the network show, like a network show or something, like say this week's shout out goes to whatever, and then we read it, like, or come up with like the description of the show and just read it or whatever.
See, this is one of those things, and I need to sit down, because there's still a lot of things I need to learn. That I just, it's just hard to sit down and get a crash course on it. But like, cause I need to figure out how to do all the stuff for the, like YouTube and the podcast, like note stuff, where you guys have links and all that stuff in there. Like our AX hasn't had any of that stuff.
That's so easy. When someone teaches you, you're gonna kick yourself. It's so easy. I
mean, I'm sure it's as easy as pasting and whatever, but yeah, I gotta do more of that stuff, because I've almost thought about that too. Like like we had talked about this a little while back with Logan. Like I've even thought about like possibly having like an intro to the show that's recorded, and then that's like that intro always plays, like, because a lot of podcasts do that. They have an intro that starts off the show, and then you can welcome everyone in, and then you're not having to like scramble your brain to think about all that stuff, and can just focus on what you're doing on the show. But at the same time, that like recorded, pre-recorded intro has got all the things that it needs there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've thought about doing it that way. I mean, and I think that's the thing though too, is like some ways might work better for others, and like, because like I feel like sometimes it's really easy if we start talking about like certain things that we could possibly break into a conversation and get sidetracked, like, so like I don't know, like in my opinion, I've just thought about possibly doing that too.
Well, you know what? Sometimes it's okay to have what I like to call an unshow, because a couple episodes of Crossroads have actually been an unshow where like we didn't even like really talk about any of the topics that we want to talk about that week. Like there was one week where Sony just basically like pulled the rug out from under us, and we were like, you know what? Okay, like all this news is crap. Yeah.
So basically, we just need to reformat our own show sometimes, and just reformat all the podcasts at this point in time. Like,
yeah.
No. Crossroads is perfect.
Do we like releasing the show 2 days later? Do we like that idea? I mean, I know, LeRon, you put Crossroads up. I know you put yours up on your YouTube channel the next day.
The next night, yeah. Yeah, so technically, like you have a chance to see the Crossroads show 3 different times that week. You don't see it Tuesday night, you see it Wednesday night. If you don't see it Wednesday night, you see it Thursday morning. And if you didn't see it any of those other times, you can just go right to the podcast services and listen to it.
Yeah. So what would be the format on how you would like to do it, Corey?
Well, here's the problem though. Because Corey, if I'm not mistaken, like you basically are cutting and producing almost all the episodes, right?
Of
all the shows, right?
Well, Jesse's been doing Arsenal X.
Because doing it 1-to-1 like that can be a little harrowing. Like I mean, like Crossroads we wrap usually about 11. No, not 11. 11's too late. We wrap somewhere between 10 and 10:30, maybe sometimes 10:45. And so depending on what I have to do, like I may start doing the editing at night, but given that Crossroads also happens to be in the night before, like I have to be up at like dark 30 in the morning to go work out. I typically don't do the edits until the next afternoon anyway. So I mean, like it's one of those things where like time management. So I actually like the 2-day buffer. Like I'm just an insane nut job that is trying to put like the show up on my YouTube channel the next day.
I mean, doing Boss Rush like the next day was just like it
too much.
Yeah, it's way too much. Like I think especially for this episode, it's going to be a week later. I'm going to put up one of Celeste's interviews for the main show this week, just because it's too much. Like it's too much trying to especially for like the lack of engagement with like the pod clips and stuff too, which was like, I still like that idea, right, of pod clips, but
pod clips. No, I think pod clips was like the best thing that was actually established. We need to keep going regardless of what's going on.
No, I'm going to keep doing them. I'm just saying, like, the Boss Rush podcast sometimes has like 6 or 7 pod clips that go up, and like I have to have them all edited and processed and uploaded the next day, because like we need 2 for Monday night and 2 for Tuesday night. And it's just been like trying to get those scheduled out and posted and everything. It's just been like, it's been a nightmare. Plus like trying to do all that and then do Nintendo Power Block the next night also has just been like, I've literally been sick from staying up too late doing
Wait, hey, how about this then? The Boss Rush podcast, that should be the one show where the pod clips don't have to be all regimented. Like okay, so yeah, like to the immediately the next night, to the night after that, so like that.
Mm-hmm.
If we get the Boss Rush Network podcast kind of the way we want to go, then that should be able to provide content through the week in pod clips itself.
Well, the thing is too,
because the other shows should be adding their own pod clips anyway.
Yeah. Well, the thing too is like even if we do this show a week later, because it's not going to be so focused on news and stuff, like it's just going to be topics and whatever with the other teams, is like we release it a week later, and then like that would give me time, or anybody else. Like theoretically, I'm still going to edit the show, but
it won't be so heavy.
It'll be like a week later, so it won't be so because like I can edit it on like a Wednesday night or something and just let it process, or Friday night, and then upload it and post them on the weekends for the following week, right? Like that's how I was doing it, and it was great because I could just hit end stream or end podcast on the live stream and go to bed, because I'd be like, oh, I don't have to edit this right now. But then when we started doing it the next day, it was like, oh geez.
So would the schedule be like Monday's the open show, like something free? Tuesday would be Arsenal X. Wednesday would be
the schedule would be the same. It would be the Boss Rush, Arsenal X, Power Block, Crossroads, 1v1, Tower Casuals, right? Like that would theoretically be the schedule, because that's how it is now. Although I forgot to post Tower Casuals today, I just remembered. So whoops. I mean, the audio for Tower Casuals goes up as soon as possible. It's the video that goes up late.
I say let Tower Casual go up Monday then.
No, it's got to go up Thursday.
It's got to go up Thursday. It's got to go up Thursday. Given that the content's so tight to the actual drops of the content games, that, like it needs to go up.
It's so specific to that. Yeah. Like I don't even count. Like, I mean, yeah, Tower Casuals is a Boss Rush show, but I don't even count it in our main pantheon of shows, because I'm just saying for this week, since you didn't post it. No, I'm uploading it and it's processing now. I just forgot. I'll just put it up tomorrow. It's fine.
Because the video show of Tower Casuals go up Friday, right? Or no, you said Saturday.
It goes up on the website on Saturdays. I actually try to get it up on Fridays, on YouTube at least. I just don't want to crowd the website with 2 or 3 podcasts on a Friday.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we could call this one a wrap, because it's like 2:15 outside.
But we also got some pretty good ideas hammered out and stuff like that. We're gonna need to talk. We're gonna need to reach out and talk to the members of our extended crews and stuff like that. Let them know, like, hey, like we have this wonderful idea now, and this is what's gonna happen, and we need y'all's feedback.
And because I don't even know if the Boss Rush podcast needs to be recorded on a Sunday night. It can be like on a Wednesday,
Yeah.
Especially or like a Thursday, like if Ed's hosting one night, right? Like I know Ed, you're usually off Thursday nights.
Yeah.
And if it's your week to host, you can host it on a Thursday night, and then send me a copy of it or whatever, and then it'll go up the night. You know what I mean? Like there's
Oh well, here's the question then: will there be a live show then? If there's not going to be if there's not going to be a set schedule,
I don't know if we'll make it a live show anymore. I just don't know, because we want to make Arsenal X a live show.
Oh, that's a good idea. You know what? If it's no longer a live show, then we can actually record the show, and then we can start doing specialized edits and making it actually look like something that you would see on TV.
Yeah.
That might be the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, because with all the podcasts, with all our other shows being live, they pretty much get the news and topics and stuff.
They pad the week, if any. And the cool thing about the pod clips, sometimes by the time the pod clips come out, sometimes the news is old anyway. But there's still people who missed that news. When it first pops up.
You have to think about the what I learned from Pow Block over the years is that so many people don't pay attention to the news like we do. So like the news could be old and they see, like they listen to the podcast or they see a pod clip or something and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. That's neat. You know what I mean?
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah, like I informed someone just recently about the, that they were switching, xCloud over to, to the Series X hardware, and told them that, because they were talking about, having a PC, but it's not powerful enough to play some of these games. I said, well, the thing is though, is you can actually with the streaming xCloud and stuff, you'll be able to play it essentially. Now they won't be like playing it on a 3090, but the Series X, and what it's doing is still, decent enough.
Yeah.
And if you have an old computer, it's going to be a heck of a lot better than playing it on your old computer.
All right. Well, as the computer guy here on the Saturday night, like you are absolutely dumb if you're using your 3090 just for gaming. Like 3090 is the perfect thing to be like for freaking rendering shows, like cutting, editing content and stuff like that. 3090 is wasted on gaming.
Yeah.
I just need to get a new computer so I can start streaming stuff.
Yeah. I mean, also I think allowing this show to take a week and actually doing proper edits to this show, I think it's going to give us more time to properly edit the other shows too,
Yeah.
Especially because I want to get Arsenal X and Pow Block back up to we talked about this story. Is there when we edit the video version, is there a trailer that we can play over it? Or is there LeRon, I know you did that with a couple of your live shows for,
yes,
you did it with the Resident Evil one. That was cool. What you did with the Resident Evil show was really cool. And I'm really jealous that I don't know how to put video in a live show.
Oh, I will show you that. Because we did it for the Resident Evil show. We did it for Logan and I did it for the Horizon.
Yeah,
the Horizon.
Yeah, that was the other one you did it for. Was
and then we did it for Uncharted. We did it for Uncharted when you were on the show that night, Corey.
Yeah.
Don't you just essentially in your OBS you have it opened up. And and then you can always click that so it's not always showing until you want to show the video, right?
Yeah, don't worry. I'll show Corey. I've been showing Corey all these OBS tricks. Don't worry, I'll show him.
Yeah, I need to learn more. But
I'll show him. I modify the background, the background for the panel, and I
want to know how to get the chat up in side panel too.
Oh, I'll show you that too.
Especially on Pow Block nights and when Arsenal X comes back. I want.
Oh yeah, because Pow Block has so much chat going on.
Dude, that chat is on fire.
It's lit.
Yeah.
I want to get a capture card so I can I'd like to be able to record doing, playing, if me and, friends or whatever one night are playing something on our Xbox or whatever, record it and just, for extra stuff that just is kind of for fun. Razer actually just came out with a 4K 60 and it does pass through, so I can still play in 4K and see it in 4K on my monitor, but you record I think at 1080 60 or whatever.
Yeah
So it doesn't ruin your your actual visuals of what you're playing. It just compresses it for your saved file.
Well, it is almost 2:30 in the morning. I think this was a good discussion. I feel like this was a very good meeting / podcast / it really kind of put at ease what I want to do, because I don't necessarily want the show to go away, but I do think it needs to change. And if we incorporate the network people into it, and each of the main team members hosts a week or whatever, I think that's a good solution. I think that's probably the best we could possibly come up with, because I think it allows us to make time for our bonus content right? Like that was the big thing, Jesse, you and I talked about. I was like,
Yeah.
we want to do bonus content, we want to do community nights, and we want to do community streams, but we can't do that because of like based on scheduling and the way that the shows are working and like.
Selfishly, I just want to be able to play games like video games with you guys because, like, like we used to be able to do that.
Video games.
I just want to play video games.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, like the last week, I've played more video games in the last week than I have in the last probably 6 months.
Wow.
Dude, I played Destiny for 4 hours last night. It was awesome, which I haven't done in like a month.
I was supposed to play Monster Hunter Stories today, but I wound up doing a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff for Crossroads that you probably wouldn't even see on this Tuesday show.
Oh wow!
But LeRon, maybe next week we'll have the writers' meetings on Wednesday.
Yeah,
maybe like I don't know, one of those days we'll have a live meeting, a live show meeting ish, so you can teach me some tricks or show me some things because.
Yeah, that works.
I need to update my knowledge on a lot of things. I also need to reach out to Logan to make us a new intro for Pow Block and Arsenal X. It's like the animation of like a Switch or an Xbox controller or something would be really cool. Instead of just like the generic iMovie ones that I've made. So.
Okay, so make sure Crossroads gets some of that love too. Nah, I'm just messing. I need to learn that stuff next too. I need to.
I do too. And the sad thing is, I pay for the Adobe Creative Suite, so I have, After Effects and Premiere and all that stuff, and I just.
Shoot. I haven't even.
And those tutorials and stuff are free.
See, I have After Effects. I also have DaVinci Resolve, and DaVinci Resolve does everything that Premiere and After Effects does.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I got that, and don't pay for stuff because that stuff is just.
I need to start working in Photoshop and all that stuff. I pay for it and
Photoshop is like the lowest common denominator. Oh my god,
Photoshop is like.
I'm just saying that's what I have. I just haven't messed.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to get like deep into Photoshop, that stuff is tricky. But like the stuff that we're doing, you need very limited knowledge. I have, like, look, I took Photoshop in college in 2006, so my knowledge ends there. So
and I've been retroactively recreating what Corey has been doing in Photoshop because man, Corey would change the format on something. I'm like, oh,
yeah. Well, I just did it again because the thumbnails don't look great posting it on the website. So like,
yeah, exactly.
So I don't. Anyways,
well, you saw my solution, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? The thumbnails should have like the black bar for the text, and the website thumbnail doesn't have it at all.
Yeah. So I've made a placeholder one for Pow Block and Arsenal X that I'm gonna like. I would really like to fix some of the stuff because I'm using old ones now, and it's like, well, now I'm just being lazy. So. Anyways, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening and celebrating 100 episodes of Boss Rush. 2 years of Boss Rush. Well, a little over 2 years, I guess, because I think we started in May, the NX show. But and we took like holidays and some weeks off at some point, I'm sure. But LeRon, I'm really glad you're here too. I want to, thank everybody who's involved, right? Like who knew, that October when we created Boss Rush, October of 2019, right? When we split off from NGR to do this, it's like who knew us three would grow this into. I mean, no offense to us, but we're all dumb. We don't know what we're doing. We just sit here. We just sit here and talk into a microphone and talk to people.
Problems that we talked about today.
Yeah, we got and for some reason, across like the podcast and stuff, there's 12 people involved in the podcast stuff. There's 20 to 30 people involved in the website now. We have just entire teams dedicated to writing. We have an entire team dedicated to the live stuff. It's just, I can't thank everybody enough for like what they're doing, and I hope that, you know, I mean, also the community and the Discord and the Facebook group and Twitter interactions have been, you know, 95% positive, except for that guy that told me to kill myself for something. I forget what it was. Oh, allowing Stoy to write that video games aren't art piece. That was fun. So.
Wow.
I was told nobody watches my Dodo podcast. But apparently somebody's watching it. You had time to write that comment.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I told LeRon. I'm like, wait a minute. Did someone tune in to write a comment like that?
Somebody, when people write stuff like that to me, like DM me or whatever, I'm like, there's literally millions of other podcasts you can listen to. You don't have to listen to ours.
Yeah. Oh my God.
As LeRon's catching a fly or something.
There's like a piece of fluff that's like flying. I think it flew out of my fan, and like so now I'm like a giant cat trying to get it.
But you know, everybody that's involved, you know, it's. I didn't know how long the show would go. Like I told Ed on our Pow Block 250 episode, our first one. After what happened at NGR, I just didn't know if I was going to have the same love and passion for this, because it was so heartbreaking and so devastating. But you know, Jesse and Ed kind of drug me through it, and it
kicked you in the ass a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm really happy where we're at. You know, I do think, have I made bad decisions along the way? Of course I have. You know, like I you know, have I don't know. I feel like I'm happy where we're at, and where we're headed is even brighter. And I hope that everybody will come along on the ride for us. I hope that our changes to the Boss Rush podcast will encourage others to reach out to us and join our community. And if you want to try a podcast, you know, come on. And now I'm just distracted by all the fuzzies in LeRon's camera, because there's like a bunch of them flying around.
I'm seeing it. It's just flying around.
It's like a bird that was hit by like
no, it's like those. It's like the ghost. It's like the ghost hunting shows where you just see like this little wisp fly by. Like, what was that?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Oh wow! I see it. I see the camera. All right, so I know I'm blowing out my fan tomorrow morning when I wake up.
So thank you everybody so much for being involved and continuing to be involved, and you know, LeRon, you helping with editing and the live stuff, and it's just been great. You know, shout out to David and Dan with what they're doing with the website and the writing team, right? Shout out to the network people, part of our first and second class of the Boss Rush Network.
Yeah, it's been fun just having, getting to meet different people and you know, like mingle a little bit with, you know, now we have Stoy, you know, coming on Arsenal X and stuff, and
yeah,
you know, it's been fun, and just, you know, getting to get more than just what we're doing out there as well too, you know. It's just as important to us. So
yeah. So LeRon, where can we find you?
You can find me on social media at Exodus803, EXODUS803. That's also my YouTube channel, my Twitch channel, my gamer tag. So EXODUS803. That's how you find me. Tuesday nights, tune in to Crossroads PlayStation Podcast, usually at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Twitch channel. Usually, because sometimes we may have a guest and then pushes the show back a little bit later than that. But beyond that, you know, Tuesday night's the spot to be at.
Ed?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode. Check out Nintendo Power Block on Mondays, and the recorded shows will premiere on Wednesdays with the audio on shows also on Wednesdays. And check out Optional Opinion on SoundCloud and other podcast apps.
Jesse?
You can find me almost everywhere as Phantom NXS, and check out Arsenal X every Tuesday.
You can find me at I am CoreyNHD on Twitter. You can find me at CoreyNHD on Instagram. You can find me hosting Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast, every Thursday night. You can find me on Nintendo Power Block with Ed. You can find me on Arsenal X with Jesse, and occasionally on Crossroads with LeRon. The last thing. Austin and I are doing a Mighty Ducks run through for Q List, so
snap!
That's coming up.
Snap!
I think we're gonna try to record the first episode this week because I know Logan needs them by August, and I want to get them out of the way as fast as possible because it's just more stuff to work on, and the faster I get out of the way, the faster, not that it's gonna be bad, right? Like I don't want to rush it, but I mean if he has time to edit it and put it together and throw it up a month or two early, it's probably ideal. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Boss Rush Podcast episode 100, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So long, everyone.